Good evening. Some of Queensland's most dangerous criminals now have a shot at freedom after a detective from organised crime was charged with serious offences.
Every case Paul McDonnell worked on will be reviewed. Only 7 News cameras were there as he walked free.
Wearing a newly fitted ankle bracelet,
Hey mate, you got anything to say?
Detective Senior Constable Paul McDonnell leaves the watch house an alleged criminal bundled into a car after being bailed on 16 charges.
While the allegations have to be tested in court, they are very serious.
Allegations of stalking women, accessing intimate photos on a woman's phone during a raid, dangerously pulling out his police-issued Glock and making a fake Crimestoppers tip.
It's unfortunate that our service may have been used inappropriately.
Crimestoppers says it receives 6,000 calls a month, and in this case, confidentiality wasn't breached.
Our service had maintained the anonymity veil, and indeed we have verified that.
Now the detectives' investigations and operations like search warrants are being reviewed.
A police officer of 15 or 20 years standing would be involved in cases that would run into the hundreds.
Court cases the policeman has been involved in could also come under intense scrutiny. There are calls for the corruption watchdog to investigate whether criminals who've challenged its officers' behaviour are the subject of miscarriages of justice.
All of those cases have to be reopened, reassessed.
The 36-year-old's lawyer told a court his client can test the charges, for now suspended from the police with pay. Garth Burley, 7 News.
The budget sale has begun, only to collide with a rise in power and water prices. We'll all be paying on average an extra 17 cents every day. The state government is threatening to force a price freeze on utility companies.
Feeling the heat of rising costs.
Being a chocolate shop, we run our air conditioning 24/7.
On his budget sell.
I'm taking orders.
And giving them to energy retailers.
Put the money in Queenslanders' pockets. Stop lining your own.
It's Origin that doesn't seem to be doing the right thing.
Still, questions are being asked about how much relief the budget will bring.
That will make a difference to families now.
The sweet taste of no new or increased taxes. Somebody should give one to Albo.
But local councils say ratepayers will be slugged with a bigger bin tax due to the government's higher waste levy from 2028.
What this state budget does is going to make that worse.
This is nothing else but a bin tax.
The government's freeze on bulk water prices is aimed at saving households $65 a year. But that will all but evaporate after providers, including urban utilities, announced it will charge more. From July 1, a typical household water and sewerage bill will increase by 3.7%, 17 cents per day or $15.37 a quarter.
They need to walk back these increases of up to 5.5%. or otherwise we will legislate.
The government has also been put on notice about the state's finances, with Queensland at risk of a credit rating downgrade.
It will ultimately hinge on operating expenditure controls.
Cost blowouts and the need to deliver congestion-busting projects before the 2032 Games appear to be mounting after 7 News revealed leaked documents about funding deferrals for Stage 2 of the Coomera Connector and an extra $5 billion needed for the wave on the Sunshine Coast. As for the Gympie Road Bypass Tunnel, these documents prove planning for post-2032. Still, the Transport Minister insists planning is progressing. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
Authorities have found the body of Gold Coast magician Daniel Hidden. He was discovered roughly 3 kilometres away from where his car and caravan were left near Mount Cougal. His disappearance sparked an 11-day search, one of the coast's largest in almost a decade. Police haven't ruled out misadventure.
One of Australia's longest-running cold cases could be a step closer to being solved. Vincent O'Dempsey, who's almost 90 now, has been committed to stand trial over the 1964 murder of a Warwick labourer.
It's puzzled police for more than half a century, but a Supreme Court jury will soon be tasked with answering what happened to 22-year-old Vincent Allen.
Justice is eternal, and so too are the rights of victims of crime.
The Labourer gave police a statement about the robbery of 2 jewellery stores in Warwick in early 1964. On April 11 the same year, an arrest was made. 7 days later, the 22-year-old went missing. In the 70s, Vincent O'Dempsey was interviewed twice over his disappearance but never charged. A coronial inquest in 1980 ruled Allen was likely killed for speaking to police. Cold case detectives reopened the investigation in 2018, and a year later, a $250,000 reward was offered a month after O'Dempsey was arrested and charged.
As a result of Mr Allen's suspected murder, at that stage he was unable to give evidence and those charges were dropped.
Convicted drug offender Warren McDonnell today told the court an associate once said to him, "Nobody gives evidence against Vince O'Dempsey. There was a fellow who was talking to police, then he disappeared. Vince got him."
The biggest challenge in this case is how much time has passed. Investigators have relied on witness statements which are now more than 50 years old.
Multiple witnesses revealed they'd heard rumours about O'Dempsey killing a person and putting them in the walls of the Leslie Dam near Warwick, but investigating officers believe Allen's remains are elsewhere.
Are you confident you'll be able to fight these charges at trial?
The 87-year-old's fate now before the courts. Anna McGraw, 7 News.
The US Senate has passed a historic motion to try and block Donald Trump from spending any more time or money on the war in Iran. It's the 10th time the Senate has attempted to stop the conflict, with the motion finally passing after support from some of Trump's own Republicans.
It'll go down in the history books as one of the worst foreign policy forays America has ever made, or any country has ever made.
The vote is largely symbolic, with Trump calling it meaningless. The opposition has placed Anthony Albanese personally in the firing line of the budget's tax changes by questioning the PM's own property investments. It comes as new data shows underlying inflation is still creeping higher, pushing up chances of another interest rate hike.
Taking the tax attack to Anthony Albanese's doorstep, the opposition questioning the timing of his 3 investment property sales over the past 5 years, claiming he made a big saving selling before his government's property tax hikes.
Can he explain why it's fair for him to personally pocket $200,000 and then pull up this ladder of opportunity from millions of aspirational Australians?
The most recent of his sales, though, 2 years before the May budget.
All of my arrangements have been declared appropriately.
Then returning the personal fire.
The truth is that I didn't inherit wealth.
Goading opposition leader Angus Taylor, saying if he wanted to get down and dirty, he would have asked the question himself.
But he didn't have the ticker.
The next target, Housing Minister Claire O'Neill, who sold her own $1.7 million investment property 3 years ago. Not happy with Liberal questioner Zoe McKenzie.
I will say I respect her, and this is beneath her. It is truly beneath her.
This, as another jump in underlying inflation fires speculation of yet another interest rate rise in August.